Hey everybody, I'm just jumping in here. I want to give a really quick video about Rein aids. I was describing with somebody the other day when we talk about using your Rein aid or squeezing your Rein, the difference between using your fingers versus using your wrist. Okay, so if I move my fingers on the Rein, that is going to move the bit in my horse's mouth, and it talks specifically to the jaw. Okay, if I turn my wrist, right? If I turn my wrist, it's almost like I'm scooping up a scoop of ice cream. See, he flexed and he gave a little in his pull, okay? If I bend at my elbow and I come back, that is going to get my horse to give in the middle of his neck. Look at it now, you can see how much he gave in the middle. And if I pull from my shoulder, I get all the way down here at the base of the neck, okay? So, but I go through all of those phases, or those stages of my Rein aid. I never come just from my shoulder. I've always checked here first. Okay, so let me go back over this fingers aid on the Rein. The finger aid that I'm gonna use on the Rein is kind of like here, right? So it's close my finger, and then I can turn my wrist. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can turn my wrist a little down. So I can close my finger and turn my wrist a little downward to encourage a little forward downward reaction. So if I'm walking along on my horse, I've got this following back front, back front, back front motion. I can also add in that little squeeze, ring finger, turn my wrist, ring finger, turn my wrist, while my arm is flowing, okay? And then I can change the dosage of this, right? So I can go a little bit and then I can squeeze pretty firmly, but I have to release afterwards. I can squeeze more firm, and then I release. But I can also do this much, right? I can just see how I almost just tightening the muscle around my fingers. I don't know if you could hear him there take a deep breath. He's like, oh, she's just doing her funny little Rein things again, okay? But my Rein comes here through my ring and middle finger, up and out through the top of my thumb. I tend to stay with my fingers curled, like I have, a bouquet of flowers or a small bird in my hand. I'm not going to crush it, okay? But I'm also not open. This is not lightness. I know a lot of people think that if they're going to be light on their horse, they're going to open their fingers. And what that is it's empty, okay? It's devoid of messaging. I'm going to have a soft close of my fingers, and then I can squeeze a little and send a message, and I can open a little and send a message. Look at that little bit of change, and I give my horse a whole lot of nuance in that. So hope that helps you think about how you are using your Rein aids. Okay, this little squeeze, and you can have a slight downward as well. Okay, so if I'm walking along and I'm wanting my horse to slightly lower their head, I can squeeze and then have a little turn, like my thumb presses forward and downward. And that will encourage him. He just actually took a step forward because his neck, it's hard to see from up here, but his neck lowered just a touch, and then that encouraged him to take a step forward, which is another part of this forward flow of energy, right? That the neck comes out and forward towards your hand, and that frees up the ability for the horse's shoulders to come more forward, and that allows the space for the hind legs to then come in underneath better as well. Okay, so I know we talk about not riding your horse from front to back, but this isn't front to back. This is shaping the front and then pushing that back energy up into that place, that softness that you're creating. All right, I hope that helps you guys a little bit thinking about how you're using your fingers and your wrist and your elbow and shoulder in the Rein aids. Okay.